channel Lightlink Vision. Today we are with Mother again. Welcome, Mother. So this will be like Mother gave us an introduction on karma and reincarnation previously. So today is part 2. So Mother, that was a very interesting introduction that you did on karma and reincarnation. So now we're going to have some example, I suppose, so that we can better understand what it is exactly.
Yes, I would like to explain what it means if we join a more Western vision to this age-old subject, for the East at least, of karma and reincarnation, and when we try to be more active in it. For instance, a karmic situation can interfere in our lives already when at a very young age. Not always. It can. You might say that if you look at the whole of a lifetime, not everything we do in a certain life, in the course of a certain life, is karmic. What is karmic is something that comes up as some kind, or in a way that the person does not understand himself always. It is something that comes up, you might almost say, without a choice. A karmic situation is something that happens and suddenly we're in it and we have the impression that we haven't done anything for it. We have not chosen it, we have not acted to grasp it or to have it. It is there. And it is there in a way that leaves us almost no choice. You have the feeling you have to do it, or all the other roads are blocked. And so if you look from this point of view to karma, you might say when we are young, until we have 12 years, 15, when we are in the period of our lives when we are children with our parents, that is one of the most typical situations for karma, because it's difficult for children to get out of situations. They are in it and it is there and they have to do with it. It's difficult to. When you are an adult, you can say, well, you can try to escape, which often happens, unless you have a very deep feeling that this is what you have to do. That is rather rare in the Western world. And still, then you will see in the lives of adults, life will forge you in it. You in some way you cannot escape, even as an adult. But in the lives of children it is more visible, but because children are more vulnerable, they are less independent, so they have to. And there you see very often karma coming in very strongly. How can you see it? You can see it because, even in the lives of children, because there is some form of non-understanding towards certain aspects of their environment. And when I say a non-understanding, I will not immediately talk about a conflictual situation, because children might make a conflict, but rarely in those situations. Children can make a conflict towards other children, their sisters, their brothers. Sometimes they say no to a parent, but it doesn't go deep. So you will see that the child has an attitude of withdrawal. He's observing something or someone. He tries to stay out, or it is somehow difficult for him to see certain things, or to be in the surroundings of certain people, or to live certain events. You see between the child and the karma, and it can be a situation or a person, some kind of misunderstanding. The child does not know completely what's happening. There's something in his life that's, from a certain point of view, unnatural. Because normally children go with the flow of the events in a very natural way. And even if there's a difficulty coming in, They say something, they cry, or they try to get around it, but it's natural, they flow. In a karmic situation, in the world of a child, the child is hesitating, is observing, and not just one day, but I'm talking about many years. And that often comes in when the child is born in a family structure that is, on the whole, difficult for him. So you see one child in a family structure with parents and other children, where this one child is looking around in some way and asks himself, how come that he's there? That might be, it's not always, it can also be just a psychological structure from the child. But if you look at it in a more close way and more deeper way, you will see that if it's a karmic situation, then the child basically does not have that character. He would like to join in, or he would like to have another kind of surroundings, to do something else, but it's not possible. So you will see a gap or a distance between the child and his surroundings, or certain persons in his surroundings. As I already said, it's not necessarily conflict, because a child hardly ever makes conflicts before the teenager age. But there still is a difficulty that the child cannot overcome. Then you will see he undergoes this. He doesn't know what to do with it. He's more passive often. And he will say later in his life, yeah, that was a difficult period. I didn't know what to do with it, and I could only accept it in some way. That is a form of karma that you will see already coming in at a very young age. Another thing you can say is that karmic situations rarely happen all life long. That's very rare, I would say almost inexistent. I mean, karmic situations take a certain period in your life. That can be 2 years, that can be 5 years, that can be 10 years, that can sometimes be 20 years or even 30, but that's rare. So a karmic situation is something that you have to deal with for a certain period in your life, and the challenge is that you do it, you face it, and you try to make something of it, something better of it. Now your question can be, yes, but what are we doing with the child? Because a child, as I already said, he's not so active in this situation. He has not much independency. No, that's true. The child will undergo the situation in a more passive way than the adult, but the period of life of children is shorter. So when the child is 10 years, 12, he will come out of it. And then you will see that a karmic situation that comes up in the very young years of an individual, in the youth, will bear very often fruits later on in life. And what is absolutely necessary and what is absolutely what would be good is when we will open up in the West for the idea of karma, so that we can help in the first place children. As I already said, an adult, he is tougher, he has more strength, or he has his own ways to deal with it, or to try to come out of it at some moments, or to have a pause. But a child cannot. And I think it would be very good if we accept the idea of karma and reincarnation already for children. Because nowadays you see many children with problems in behavior, using drugs at young age, or doing all kinds of things in their lives that are not healthy. Sometimes they even have to take pills to calm down or to sleep. That is a big problem that can, in many occasions, change when the adults know that this might be a karma. And only this idea, only watching, seeing this phenomena, the vision of an adult on this phenomena is very important. If you can only have the question mark in yourself as an adult, in seeing a child in a difficult situation with the idea, perhaps this is a karmic situation, that will help enormously. Because the child will feel it, will feel that you have another attitude, and will be helped in his own attitude towards the situation. He cannot change it because he's a child. And he does not have already the means that adults have to change it. But he can, through you, have another vision on it, and then you will see that something will change in a magical way. So I'm defending the reintroduction for the idea of the ideas of karma and reincarnation in the Western world in the first place for children. Because in many cases, karma already comes up in the youth, and the goal is that they will have positive fruits when the child gets older. But those fruits will not come, or will be, the harvest will not be very big, as long as we go on denying that this phenomena exists as adults. And even, well, we'll talk about it in the next videos, even if the karma comes up in the lives of adults, and in your youth you have no problem, even then it is necessary that you have another vision of your problems. But as I already said, in the lives of children, why? Because children are more locked up in their situations, with less means to get out in some way. It is so important the way that adults around them see their situation. For instance, if you have a child that has tremendous problems with your husband or with another child of your family, only the reflection that you can have as a mother, that when you inside you can say, perhaps this is a karmic situation, that will help enormously. You have no idea what that will do, even though you don't even have to speak this out, because it creates an opening for a solution on a psychological level that we have never tried it, but you will see it works. And then the situation can start to grow in a more positive direction towards a solution. Okay, that's what I would like to say today.
That's really good.
Yes.
Thank you, Mother. So just by the thoughts that we have, we can change things.
Yes, the thoughts, the vision you have, and the consciousness that you have. If you are conscious that it's not just two characters that don't go well along one with the other. If you just say, well, he has a dominating my husband has a dominating character and my child is a bit weak, I better try to keep them apart. That is too, that leaves no room for growth. It's only a situation of keeping two dogs wide away one from the other, so that they will not attack each other, but that has nothing to do with human growth and with consciousness. Whereas, as you can say, my child is small, but he has been an adult in the past, in another life. And perhaps, having been an adult, he has now an adult conflict with his father. It's not a child against a father, it is two souls struggling around very probably the same problem. Okay,
well, that's really useful to know.
Yes, I think.
Thank you. So please subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because thank you so much.
Thanks.
I hope you really understand how much of a gift this is, because Mother is doing this, no, she doesn't get anything from it, just a satisfaction that maybe we will understand better what all this is. That's and the meaning of life. So just subscribe and share with your family, and we will see you at the next video. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Millions of years have gone by since you put your first steps on the earth. Millions of years have gone by since you first came here to birth. Millions of times you've watched it, things and people passed away. Millions of times you've watched it, nothing ever stayed. How come you still can't give up this illusion? How come you still prefer to dream, dreaming on? When will you wake up to a true life? Dreaming on, your eyes are closed, you do not notice. Dreaming on, and what will make you see? Dream on, a new reality. So many times you've played them, roles in dramas human-made. So many times you've changed them, costumes, scenes and names. Each time again you try to make the most out of the subject. Each time again you try to